There's a motion to amend what I had read out and was accepted as Article 1. And that motion to amend is to, I'm going to restate it, to see what sum the district will be authorized to expend for regular instruction. The amount moved would be $12,231,768. Sure, make one comment.
On the back of the one-pager, just so people understand the impact of $450,000 on the budget.
Microphone.
Sorry. Just so you understand what the impact of that is, if you go to the second page, there is a one-pager that shows what adding $450,000 would mean for the towns, and overall, it would drive a 7.82% increase to towns, or about $1 million. So just want people to be aware financially of what you're voting for.
Can we have a second? Half of us didn't see that.
There will be more time to discuss this. We have to make this the actual motion before you. So.
Can I ask a question real quick about this?
Sure.
What?
Could you take the microphone, please?
I guess my question is what's gonna, if we approve this, what's gonna guarantee that those funds are gonna go to the teachers, keeping the teachers to the curriculum, all that?
So first, this is annoying legal stuff, but if this passes, what you're about to vote on, all that won't actually make that the budget. All it's going to mean is you now get to vote on that question. So, and then there can be more discussion, hopefully not too much, but then if that passes, that category in the warrant, which is regular instruction, would be you'd be funding them up to that extra $450,000. Now, let's be super clear here. The role of this group today is to decide the numbers on the page. That your role is not to decide how the numbers on the page are spent. Literally, you have no power to that. That would put the money back to the school board, who would then decide that. Now, the school board's here, they see what you're saying, but they're gonna have to make decisions about that. So we're essentially using an axe tonight and not a scalpel. We're not able to just say, here's what you're gonna do. So at any rate, the motion is for Article 1 to increase it from the recommended amount by $450,000 to $12,231,768. As many are as in favor of that motion to amend, please raise your right hand. Thank you. And hands down. As many are as opposed, please raise your right hand. It is my ruling that the yeses have it. So now Article 1 is still on the floor, but the number has changed by an increase of $450,000. Is there any discussion on what is now Article 1 before we actually vote on its merits? Yes.
Am I allowed to speak again?
One more time, Joe.
Am I allowed to speak again now that we're off the motion?
Sure.
Okay, I thank the audience for your great support of education. I implore the school board to spend the money as the public desires. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Just for clarification, so by raising this particular article by $450,000, is that impacting the overall budget by $1 million? No. Could you explain that 7.82 increase?
Yes, so,
Good.
sorry about that. If you look again at the second page, it is showing you that by adding $450,000, if you go down below the chart, that 7.82% increase would be 3.28% more than the board's recommended budget. So you're actually increasing the amount that the towns are paying by 3.28%. That's what that is showing. The total increase to the towns is $1,074,881.
Yes,
My name's Chad Pine.
come on close to the mic,
I'm
Chad.
sorry, my name's Chad Pine, I'm from Brownfield. My question is, were they increasing this by $450,000? We're getting ready to do our vote for our next year's budget. How are we gonna adjust our budget now, since the article's already gone out to, the budget's already done. We're getting ready to vote on it in June. So how do we adjust our budget now that you guys just increased it by $450,000?
Don't know if anybody has an answer for Chad. I try hard to only answer questions I know the answer to. I'm not trying.
Jim Terrell, Freiburg. I believe, and someone tell me if I'm wrong, the budget that the school votes on, what you vote for tonight, does not affect your town vote budget total. In Freiburg, when we vote for our town budget, the school notifies us and says, because of this vote tonight, this is how much you have to add to your total tax base of income. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so I think I'm right. If I'm wrong, someone speak up. But it won't affect the vote that we're going to do like next month in Freiburg, because we're dictated by this vote tonight. And I'm glad so many people are here tonight rather than just 30 to dictate $5 or $6 million for Freiburg.
I agree with that. Hi there.
Hi, Benny Woodhoff, Denmark. So to kind of answer that question, yes, we have gone through our budget process with our budget committee, but I will say that during those budget discussions, we are trying to project what the school budget is. So we know how much we can spend at the local level. How much can we put towards roads? If we're looking at a $450,000 increase and we knew that ahead of time, we would probably not put $500,000 towards roads, but maybe $350,000. We might only put, we might not have given our 3% raises. We might have only given a percentage or no increase. So it does affect your local budget and your local tax base.
Hi there.
Hello, Emily Strala from Freiburg. We're talking a lot about the burden to the taxpayer. There is an enormous burden to the taxpayer when we have uneducated and undereducated graduates of our schools. Right now we're talking about money we're going to pay in taxes. It's a real burden. That money is real. It's going to cost families more money. But we're spending that money to make our children better prepared to be active, contributing citizens, which down the road is going to continue to increase the value, the success of our community. And we're talking about the people who are going to become home health aides and hopefully give you the right dosage of your medication because they've learned their math skills. And we're talking about our safety people who know that you can't put out an oil fire with water. Like these kinds of basic functioning in society skills they're learning in school. So cutting the budgets now is cutting down our communities long term. I know it costs a lot, but it's worth the investment. We all profit from having kids who are prepared to succeed in the world.
Hi. I just had a comment on, especially because we can't help decide where the extra money is going to go. Nobody, and I don't think anybody here would claim to think that the school board wants our kids to be less educated. Everyone's goal here is well-educated, contributing members of society. And so much time and effort and thought has gone into this current budget and into the restructuring and into helping teachers be able to, our current teachers be able to teach the children successfully and to help them still thrive in math and social studies. All the subjects that have always been taught are going to continue being taught maybe in a different way, but that is what a lot of people are looking for, is a different and better way so that all our kids who are having issues paying attention can learn. And so I would really urge people to stick with the current budget. There is so much here that we don't know and that we have not spent hours poring over, that we just cannot understand in a short budget meeting. And so I think there are things to be talked about further in the future, but for today, I would say, look, I would not change what this board has proposed.
Thank you.
Hi everybody, Mr. Moderator. I'm Joe Minich. I'm a resident of Freiburg and a voting member of the town. I also work at Freiburg Academy, but that's not particularly relevant for this comment. Just want to make sure everyone understands that voting for this particular motion does not automatically mean an increase of $450,000 to the overall budget. There are other cost centers, other articles. I think motions can be made to reduce costs in those articles potentially to balance the budget a little more equitably or however we see fit as a community. So I think it's really important to recognize that voting for this one motion does not mean that the budget automatically goes up by any certain amount. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mackenzie Kroll and I'm from Freiburg. I'm speaking today not just as an educator, but also as someone who is educated in a multi-age school with 60 children. And my teacher's time was the most valuable thing that I learned from that school. I became an educator because of my 6th grade teacher and the time that she had to spend with me. And so the relationships that these teachers form with these students, it's not just about their literacy, it's not just about the fact that they have someone who can talk to them through a problem that they don't know how to solve yet. You are teaching people how to learn what the world looks like, how to think critically about what the world is for them, no matter what their identity or their background or their perspective. And coming from a rural place, when children spend 6.5 hours with an adult, they need to know that that adult is someone that they can trust and that they have the time to spend with them on their education. Whether it's math or science or history, those people become the next people who educate your children. They become the people who build your roads, who build your house, who help to clean up something when something is spilled. They help you when you are going to need it when you are older, and they are the next generation. I was that child, and if my school had eliminated my 3rd grade teacher, my 4th grade teacher, my 5th and 6th grade teacher, I would not be standing in front of you having understood the value of community. And so please take the time to think about what it means to take an adult away from the children in your community, because that's what is at stake here with 12 different positions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Snow from Denmark. Not that it matters, but I served 15 years as selectman. I've worked with the school board for a long time, and I think everybody in this room, if you voted for these people. They work very hard on this budget all year, and they don't think of just education. That's their primary. They also think of the older people who can't afford tax increase year after year after year. So yes, the children are our future, but I don't think we should be driving our elderly people, now I'm 71 by the way, out of this district. I would recommend to follow the school board recommendation.
Thank you. No, thank you.
Mr. Moderator.
Ms. Joy.
Hello, many of you, my past students and current parents of my current students. I've been teaching here for over 28 years, including 8 of them here in Mollyockets, Hallowed Halls, and Freiburg Academy. I must say that I am shocked and appalled that anybody would consider cutting our ed techs from our classrooms.
Thank you.
I am not educated as they are to help the students meet their individual education plans. I can't do that. I need them. As a daughter of the American Revolution, to think that our history program is going to be blended into a humanities class, thinking that it is still going to have the same criteria meeting the state's mandates? I question that. As an English teacher, I question how are we going to meet the ELA standards, teaching our students how to read and write. I have 5 children, 5. I'm on a teacher's salary and a widow. So yes, living in Denmark, I'm on dirt roads. I'm in an 1800s farmhouse. But I'll be darned, I'm not going to sacrifice my children's education so that my roads can be groomed more. I know the value of having an extra helping hand in the classroom. And I know the value of investing in our future. Thank you.
Seeing no more, let's call the question. Article 1, I'll restate, to see what sum the district will be authorized to expend for regular instruction. The amount moved and before you is $12,231,768. As many are in favor of the motion, will now please raise your right hand. Thank you. As many as are opposed to the motion will now please raise your right hand. Thank you. That motion carries. Article 2. 16 hours on pace here. We're going to do this.